Nothing wrong with that. I just watched Journey live in Manila.
Oh
They
yeah.
have that
that's a
new.
great
Have you
one,
seen
yeah.
that? Oh, I saw that.
I have not if it's a new one, but there is a live in Manila with the new singer, right?
Oh, with the new singer, right?
Ah, it's amazing. Yeah.
He's amazing. Obviously, he hits all Steve Perry's notes, but he's also pushes himself to hit his own notes as well, which is great.
Being a Journey fan, I was like anybody, I guess, when a band changes a singer.
Right.
But there's a few exceptions where it actually works. I think Alice in Chains did a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
Journey is definitely one of them. He's amazing, that guy. So yeah.
And then like in AC/DC's case, they didn't find but they didn't find a Bon Scott.
No.
They found somebody else.
But I think that had a little bit more with the attitude that Bon Scott had, and that's hard to find,
Right.
I guess. So, Bad is doing a kick-ass job, and they've done most of their music and their career has been pretty much based on, what's his name again?
Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I had too many beers today. Sorry about that. Brian Johnson. Yeah, he's been the longest member, as a singer. Yeah.
I recently read an interview with Eddie Van Halen where he was talking about the 1984 album, and he was talking about one song in particular. I believe it's called House of Pain. And I was really surprised, and sort of it was a pleasant surprise to hear him talking about the riff, the feel that he was trying to achieve on that was the same that he was going for, that Back in Black AC/DC feel.
So
and I was like pretty blown away that that not it's sort of is now. Speaking of that, is there you wrote the music on the last two albums?
Yeah. And I've been part of it ever since I joined. Basically, that's sort of why I thought it was so fun and so fulfilling, and the reason why I'm actually in the band. So.
Well, by the way, this is the retarded. This is the retarded Carney transvestite 916, or better known as my acronym. And then we're hanging out here with Bjorn.
Bjorn, yeah.
Bjorn of In Flames. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're just talking about AC/DC and Journey and all kinds of stuff. As a songwriter, have you found any inspiration from bands of your era?
Always. I mean, I love music. I've grown up in a family where nobody really played anything or sang anything, but they all listened to music, And my dad especially, he had in my opinion, best record collection that a guy at my age could, steal, basically. But he had all the Sabbath, all the Purple, Rainbow, Dio, Whitesnake, Thin Lizzy. Later on he got some Judas Priest, he got Maiden and stuff like that. So for me it was perfect. I never had to buy an album, basically.
Wow.
He got all of it. So for me, obviously, that shaped me and the musical taste I have. And of course, I try to, learn from what they did, and the stuff that stuck here. I want to try to get my own version of it, my own take on it. Yeah.
So number 11. This is the 11th.
Yeah.
Siren Charms is the 11th album from In Flames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the second one where you've wrote all the music. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of try to work together either way, because there's a lot of things I can't do. Even though I have an idea of what I want to do, I still want everybody to be part of it, because it's the five of us that create the sound that we have, and are the ones that have to be out there playing the songs later. So we all have to be happy with it. So, but it starts with riffs and melodies from my part. Just basic, really rough sketches. I put some drum, a drum program on there.
Okay.
Play some shitty bass and do all the arrangements with the guitars. I even try the fucking keyboard and stuff, and I suck at that. But it's good to get closer to your idea and vision of the riff, melody, or the whole song, and then present it to the dudes, and we can rip it apart or just go with it as it is, and have everybody involved. I like that.
Do you write well from pressure and anger, or do you just go in the studio with a six-pack and come out with whatever you can?
It's a funny question, but I could never sit down 9 to 5 and okay, let's do a song. It doesn't work like that. Not for me. It's always like a melody or something that's been almost to the point of being annoying, that it won't leave my head.
I see.
And then I go up to my little studio, bring a beer or two, and just start working on it. And if it still feels good after I arranged it, I try to keep it. And then it's, that's something that we talk about, and maybe we'll use it.
And the artwork on the new album is can you talk about a little bit about the artwork?
Yeah, it's we went through many discussions and totally different ideas. Anything from photo stuff to very weird stuff to the drawing thing, and we ended up agreeing on that using the guy that's done some comic books for us, Blake Armstrong, out of Spades Comics. He's an amazing painter, and he had some crazy ideas. And him and Anders, as Anders usually does, he explains a little bit the vibe of the lyrics and stuff, so it has some sort of connection to the actual content on the album, I guess. And they worked out some ideas, and this is how it turned out, and we're super stoked.
And it's a great album cover and a really cool title, Silver Charms, correct?
Siren Charms,
oh,
yeah.
Shit. Siren Charms. Oh, bad me. And the tracking of the album. How much time is spent tracking the album?
Putting the riffs down and
putting the track list. Yeah. How difficult is that?
It's interesting. I don't really pay that much attention to in what order the songs come. For me, they're all. I mean, it makes total sense to do that. And when you listen to certain albums, you need to have the slower stuff there, and the dynamics and the flow. But usually that's all taken care of before we start recording.
Oh, I see.
When all the demos are done, Anders most of the time has already I think this is a good flow, shows it to the rest of us, and we almost always agree. So I don't really need to work on that part, but he spends a lot of time thinking about that, because you need a flow.
Absolutely.
Not only in the songs, but also in between the songs.
Something has to go on first, and something has to go on last.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, and that doesn't mean that you create songs just to be able to fill that certain spot. What it means is that we use whatever songs we have. We're not a band that we don't write 35 songs and then choose 11, 12. Okay. We try to work around 14, 15 songs, and hopefully all of them make it on there, but there's always one or two that goes to be like a bonus track or something like that.
What are the bonus? What are the normally Japanese get bonus tracks?
Yeah.
What did they get this time?
Well, we did 2 songs that didn't end up on the record, and I think you guys over here actually go, fuck this, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
I don't know.
Editing is no. Okay.
Sven friend from Sweden. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Who was?
No. So I guess you guys got both of them actually, but different distributors wanted to have different. One of them wanted this song, one of them wanted that song to add as bonus tracks. So, yeah. So yeah, that's how it is.
And your album came out in September of last year on a Tuesday. Your next album will be coming out on a Friday. Do you have any thoughts on that at all? Of the difference in days, or does it not?
Is that
matter?
you guys changed over here, or?
It's changed worldwide as of I think this year. Sometime in the middle of the year, it'll no longer be Tuesdays. It'll be Fridays.
Wow, I didn't even know that. And honestly, I don't care. I mean, it's like you go there and buy your beers, and then you go to the music store and buy the new record. It's not a bad thing, I think. And you have a great weekend.
Well, here in America, a lot of people that work for others get paid on a Friday, and I guess it's a good reason to get direct deposit now, because direct deposit goes into your account at 1 o'clock or 12:01 of that particular day, and I guess the music will be made available at 12:01 of that particular day.
Okay, I had no idea, and I have no opinion in this matter. But is it good for you guys? You guys are happy with it?
For me? It hasn't gone into effect yet.
Okay, but would you say it's a good thing?
I don't know.
Does it change the way you consume music?
I don't think anything that has to do with in-store product will change anything in the way anybody consumes music in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe it might be a.
Maybe the pirates will take Sunday off and go to church, and they'll just have to wait till Monday.
You can always hope.
Now, I know that Barney from Napalm Death recently said in an interview that they are selling more records than ever, and I know that I saw that Warner Brothers Records supposedly is making more money nowadays. Is the piracy sort of waning somewhat, and music is being sold in other ways that you're noticing?
I think we've been not part of it, but we've been living through the whole decline because we started in the early 90s, where you still sold records, like physical LPs and stuff like that and CDs. We've seen the whole thing go down, but at the same time, we've also seen the streaming side of things go up, and that sort of it will never be the same.
Sure.
It's just that it's a different way of distributing or making your music available. I don't know if piracy is going down, but I think that the streaming services are so easily approachable. You can have any, like you guys have Pandora over here, right?
We do. We have Spotify.
We have
Spotify
as well, and they
Blue Shark, I think.
Yeah, all this stuff, and it makes music available, so it's easier almost to get an account there than actually downloading stuff illegally today, I guess. And maybe it's inevitable, and that's the way it is. But selling more records, I've heard the vinyl is coming back. Over in Europe, it's actually selling way better. I mean, it's growing a little bit and that's fun for dudes like us.
Absolutely.
That we grew up with it. And,
absolutely.
And it's a fantastic format. It's a little bit impractical if you have an iPhone.
Right.
But besides that, it's a fantastic format. So that's a good thing.
Cool. And now have you always been a Les Paul guy?
I always wanted to be a Les Paul guy, but of course financially times were very different
So
in the beginning.
When you were broke, you were a Strat guy, and
No, I was never a Strat guy. Even though one of my biggest heroes, Richard Blackmore, has always been a Strat guy. But no, I just thought it looked fantastic, and it's a guitar. When I first got my hands on it, it just felt almost played itself. So yeah, I just fell in love with it, and it's a Lizzie guitar too. So
yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine you have a well-selling signature series.
No, not yet. But I actually have talked with Epiphone, and we started discussing doing a series, and we modeled it after my first Les Paul that I got. So yeah, hopefully very soon there will be a line. I got some prototypes. I'm actually going to play it tonight. You can have a look at it, and
nice.
It plays fantastic.
Nice. And now in Sweden, where you're from, you still live there, correctly?
Oh yeah, Gothenburg, yeah.
We hear from over here that it's a very heavily taxed, socialized governmental system over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, governmental, I don't know, but heavily taxed. But you mean governmental as in
the social system.
The social network
they take from you and give to everybody else. It's a system that it works relatively well, in your opinion, or you're dying to move to America?
No, I'm very, very happy with it. There's a lot of benefits. You pay a lot of money, obviously, but you get a lot of benefits from it, like health care, dental care, up until you're 18 at least, and by then you should have learned how to brush your teeth, right? Daycare, all these things that help, makes it easier for you. If you're a family guy, or if you bring up a family, it kind of offsets some of the costs you will have. I don't know how it is over here.
In America, we pay high taxes and we get fighter jets and drones and stuff.
That's
depending on where you live.
Save your teeth.
No.
But I mean, it's different too. We're 9 million people in the whole country. You guys are what, 400 million?
We are a lot.
Yeah, it's a huge country too.
A giant, widespread.
So it is different. I don't think you can really compare the two.
Okay.
But the system has worked for a long time in Sweden, and of course there's shit to complain about.
Sure.
There will always be. You can never be totally satisfied. But I think if you put it in comparison to other countries that we've traveled through, as a band, seeing what's good or in our opinion, good or bad. And
Sure.
it has a lot of benefits to be in Sweden. It sure does. Yeah.
Cool. I'll be emigrating over there soon. Will you be?
I should visit.
I need some anchor babies or something like that. And recently, I'll just close this up. I know you're a big Star Trek fan. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
And Dr. Spock just recently
I heard.
passed away.
Yeah.
He was
Very sad news.
absolutely. He
Very
was
sad.
83 and lived a long life.
Yeah, he sure did, and he had an excellent career. Seemed to be. I've obviously never talked to him, but he seemed to be very sympathetic and very on top of his game. So yeah, he will be missed.
He was an atheist.
Yeah.
And believed in aliens and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And finally, there was an incident recently where a grave by a famous musician was desecrated by a.
I read about that today. Actually, I saw it on Facebook, and that's the most. I can't even get my brain around why you would do such a thing. It's not even a. It's not a political statement. It's not a musical statement. It's just a fucking. Sorry, but it's just
Well, that's fine.
idiots doing something stupid. Yeah, I can't believe they did that.
So
Served no purpose whatsoever. Just pissing people off.
Well, that's. I think that's the point. It's sort of a punk rock sort of, even a heavy metal point. You know, Burzum, church burning,
Yeah, but
disrespect to. You know, obviously Pantera's a band from the '80s. So
but
maybe-
being in the musical scene, you know, that's. Then
No, I
a
understand
Burzum burning
exactly.
churches. That was a statement, image, or whatever it was. But
Right.
it was a statement.
Sure.
It made sense. But being in a band and, you know, pissing on whatever.
fellow
they did,
musician.
I don't get it. I really can't get it. And I mean, being like most metal bands are Pantera fans,
Right.
you know, and he was one of the guys that you've been listening to growing up. And while we actually started playing, we had the opportunity to play with these guys. Not Pantera, but Damage Plan.
Damage Plan.
Yeah, and seeing him in action live, it's just what? There's no way anybody can not dig the guy. You know, I don't get it. Yeah.
Totally makes no sense for sure. Now you're to wrap this up. You're on tour with All That Remains
Mm-hmm.
and the Woven War.
Oh yeah.
Both bands are similar, somewhat in style, to In Flames, but all from different eras.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like this lineup?
Well, you have to ask them if the comparison is correct. But I love the lineup. These are friends. We've toured before, and easygoing guys. Love music. Love to have a beer or two, you know. And yeah, it's we had Woven War over in Europe
Oh,
on the
Papa Roach, right?
yeah. And and we've known them for years from touring with As I Lay Dying back
Sure.
in the day. So yeah, and All That Remains, same thing. We've known them for many years too, and toured together before. So yeah, it's a great lineup.
Yeah, there's a lot of happy fans that are not going to be too disappointed having to sit through one band to get to
No.
the other, because, like I said, there are some similarities.
Yeah, I think you'll find something good hopefully with each of the band, and that's the whole point with making a package like to make it interesting all the night. You know.
Absolutely. Well, finally, is there anything that you might want to add to anybody that might be watching this?
That might be watching this.
That will be
Sure,
watching
yeah.
this.
Just a big thank you for supporting us. We've been around the U.S. since '99, I think, was the first show we did. And people still come out watching us, and that's an amazing feeling. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, this is Chuck Billy from Testament. I'm blowing it up.
Blowing it up.
Blowing up
On Capital Chaos.
Capital Chaos.
Capital Chaos TV.
Motherfucker.